Imagine waking up before the sun rises, only to hear a faint click in your garage. And there she is, the self-appointed queen of the neighborhood, rifling through your stuff like it's her personal Home Depot. Her name was Brenda Hargrove, the iron-fisted president of the Pine Ridge Homeowners Association, and she'd been terrorizing our little slice of suburban paradise for 6 long years with her endless rules about grass height, paint colors, and what constituted acceptable holiday decorations. But on that crisp Tuesday morning at 6:34 a.m., Ethan Caldwell caught her red-handed, clutching my prized cordless drill as if it were a scepter in her delusional kingdom. I wasn't always the guy who'd stand up to bullies like Brenda. For years, I'd kept my head down in Pine Ridge, a cookie-cutter neighborhood in suburban Ohio where every house looked the same, and the air was thick with the scent of fresh-cut lawns and unspoken resentments. Rumors swirled about me after my divorce, whispers that I was unstable, a recluse who hoarded junk in his garage, all because I liked tinkering on weekends. Brenda fueled those fires at every HOA meeting, painting me as the neighborhood's black sheep to distract from her own power grabs. I'd bite my tongue, nod politely when she'd strut by with her clipboard, citing some bylaw about my mailbox being 2 inches too low. But inside, I was watching, cataloging every petty fine she slapped on folks for nonsense like unauthorized bird feeders that supposedly disrupted the aesthetic harmony. Harmony, my ass, it was control, pure and simple. That morning, though, the game changed. I'd noticed things vanishing from my garage over the past month. First my ratchet set, then my angle grinder, and finally my blue rolling toolbox that I'd customized with stickers from my kids' old soccer games. No broken windows, no jimmied locks, just poof, gone. I lived alone now, post-divorce, and I sure as hell didn't lend tools to anyone. The spare key I'd hidden under the garden gnome by the side gate? Yeah, that was my first mistake. I swapped the locks that very day, installed hidden cams, one overlooking the gate, another perched high in the garage rafters, and waited. Patience was my weapon. Brenda's arrogance would be her undoing. The footage was gold. There she came, sneaking through the gate at dawn, her oversized shades perched on her nose like she was incognito in her own damn neighborhood. She tried the old key on the side door, click. Nothing. Her face twisted in that classic Karen frustration, lips pursed like she'd sucked a lemon. Out came a multi-tool from her designer tote, probably bought with HOA dues, and she fiddled with the latch for what felt like an eternity, muttering to herself. Failing that, she marched to the garage, punched in a code on the keypad I'd disabled weeks ago. Bingo, door creaks open, and in she goes, straight for my shelf. I stepped out from behind the workbench, flipping on the lights. Morning, Brenda. Shopping early today. She jumped like a cat on a hot tin roof, drill in hand. Mr. Caldwell, this is official HOA business. Your garage is in violation, excessive noise from power tools, unauthorized storage of industrial equipment in a residential zone. Industrial? It's a drill, not a jackhammer. And since when does inspection mean helping yourself to my property? She straightened up, clipboard magically appearing from her bag like a shield. We have reports. Multiple complaints. The bylaws grant us access for compliance checks. By sneaking in at dawn? Stealing? That's not bylaws. That's burglary. She huffed, trying to sidestep me. I'm filing a citation. This conversation is over. Not without my drill. I plucked it from her grip. She didn't fight, just shot me a glare that could curdle milk. As she stormed out, I called after her, "Smile for the camera, Madam President." By 7 a.m., I dialed the cops. Officer Jenkins arrived, a no-nonsense guy with a mustache that screamed 80s cop show. I showed him the list of missing items, the dates, and played the video on my phone. His eyes widened. "You're saying the HOA head broke in and grabbed your tools? Seeing is believing," he chuckled dryly. "Well, I'll be damned. She's out there right now, hassling Mrs. Patel about her flower beds." We watched from my window as Jenkins approached her. Brenda was mid-lecture, waving her clipboard at poor Mrs. Patel's zinnias. "Brenda Hargrove?" She spun, all saccharine smiles. "Officer, what a pleasant surprise. Is there an issue? Need you to come down to the station?" Questions about a break-in. Her face drained of color. "This is absurd. I'm the HOA president. I enforce the rules here." "Yeah. Well, rules apply to everyone. Let's go." She sputtered about community standards and bylaws overriding local nonsense. But into the cruiser she went, still clutching that damn clipboard like a lifeline. I stood on my porch, sipping coffee, feeling the first twinge of that sweet, ironic justice. But this was just the appetizer. Brenda's empire of petty tyranny was about to crumble, one stolen socket at a time. Word spread like wildfire through Pine Ridge that afternoon. Brenda was back by lunch, strutting like nothing happened, questioned, "Not charged yet." Jenkins had assured me the video was solid. An investigation was opening. I fired off a certified letter to the HOA's attorney. Detailed account, video link, demand for their equipment inventory. I knew their maintenance budget was a joke: coffee and donuts at meetings, maybe a lawnmower if they were feeling fancy. Evening rolled in, and I spotted my neighbor, Carla, weeding her yard. She was a sweet retiree who'd gotten fined last year for non-conforming porch lights. "Heard the drama?" I asked, leaning on the fence. She glanced around nervously. "Brenda's saying you set her up. Lured her in with fake complaints to harass her." I laughed, a bitter, miffed chuckle. "Lured?" She had a key copy. Walked in like she owned it. "People are whispering, Ethan. Some by her story. You're the troublemaker. Remember?" Oh, I remembered. Brenda had smeared me at the last meeting, implying my noisy hobbies were why my ex left. It stung, but it also sharpened my resolve. The board was her puppet show, lazy yes-men who showed up for free snacks. Time to rewrite the script. Next day, I hit the county clerk's office, requesting Pine Ridge HOA filings. Elections, duties, property access rights. The clerk, a jaded woman named Rita, handed over the stack. Missing pages galore, no election records for 3 years. Minutes vanished like my tools. "This normal?" I asked. Rita snorted. "Only if they're covering asses. HOAs must file to stay legit. Complain to the state ombudsman. They're the watchdogs." 30 minutes later, formal complaint filed. While waiting, I canvassed trusted neighbors. First, Old Man Vic, a former mechanic with a garage full of classics. "Anything go missing lately?" He scratched his beard. "My impact wrench last winter. Thought the grandkids swiped it. Then Mrs. Lopez, the widow with the impeccable garden. My hedge trimmers and that fancy birdhouse statue. Blamed the squirrels. And Jamal, the night shift paramedic who despised Brenda's fines for his truck's commercial appearance. My shop vac vanished 2 weeks ago. No clue. We listed 10 items. All high value. All disappeared sans break-ins. Coincidence? Hardly. That weekend, the HOA's Community Spirit Barbecue fired up in the park. Brenda held court, barking at volunteers over crooked tablecloths. I sauntered in with an envelope. "You're not welcome," she snapped, not looking up. "As a dues payer? Pretty sure I am." "You're disrupting harmony." "Delivering facts disrupts your harmony?" I slapped the envelope down. Signed affidavits from neighbors on stolen goods. Copies to cops and ombudsman. She froze, then sneered. "Fabrications. You'll hear from my lawyer." I walked away, hearing her mutter to a crony, "That man's unhinged. Probably stole his own stuff for attention." Monday brought detectives, Hayes and Ortiz, plainclothes pros. They reviewed my cams, the list. "Where'd the tools end up?" Hayes asked. "Bet on the community shed by the playground." Brenda's maintenance hub. No inventory. No oversight. Ortiz raised a brow. "Access. Jamal knows a guy who mowed for them. Says it's a free-for-all. Warrant secured. They raided it 2 days later." Jackpot. My ratchet set. Angle grinder. Blue toolbox with my kids' stickers intact. Vic's wrench. Misses. Lopez's trimmers. A hoard of gear way beyond HOA needs. Hayes called. Over 40 marked items. Ledger shows rentals to contractors, cash deals. Fraud. If she's pocketing. Yeah. This ain't just klepto. It's a racket. Brenda had turned the shed into her black market tool library. Funded by our dues. Rented under the table. The irony? She fined us for clutter while hoarding our stolen crap. I felt that dark humor bubbling, the queen of order. Queen of chaos. The HOA meeting that Thursday. Usually a snooze fest with Brenda monologuing to empty chairs. Not this time, 50 residents crammed in. Buzzing. Brenda looked haggard. No shades. Papers trembling. Open comments. I stood. "Ethan Caldwell here. 2 weeks ago, I caught Brenda Hargrove breaking into my garage on camera. Stealing tools. Police found more in the shed. From multiple homes." Gasps. Brenda stammered. "Lies. He entrapped me." I held up my folder. Police report. Inventory. Statements. Petition to oust her now. The room exploded, not rage, but cheers. Jamal rose. "My vac was there, Carla. She's fined me for years." Vic. "Time for new blood. Emergency vote." Brenda out. Heels clicking defeat as she fled. Someone yelled. "Check her basement. Probably got a Lowe's down there." Laughter echoed. But the real work loomed. New board. Financial autopsy. How far back this rot went. 3 weeks post-ouster. A bombshell envelope from the DA. Subpoena as key witness in Brenda's fraud case. Charges escalated, embezzlement, burglary, coercion. She'd funneled dues to a phantom greenscape services, billing for ghost jobs, listing stolen tools as leased assets. Double-dipping genius, if evil. I called Jenkins, now on the task force. How bad? Audit shows $35,000 siphoned. 2 board cronies in the crosshairs, signed off on everything. One had lawyered up quick. Guilt screamed. My evidence folder felt like a Pandora's box now, unleashing years of suppressed fury. That night, Reform Committee at the Rec Center. folding chairs, whiteboard scrawled with fines. Elections. Jamal leaned in. Brenda's place raided today. Vans hauling boxes, computers, files. Mrs. Lopez nodded. Saw him cart out ledgers. Looked like a mob bust. A newcomer, ex-board guy named Pete, piped up. She booted me years ago for questioning premium lawn care fees. We had no lawns to care for back then. He handed a USB. Old budgets are clean ones. We forwarded it. Terrifying how one clipboard-wielding tyrant buried dissent. Next day, Rita called. Filings forged. Signatures fake. She wasn't elected past year one. Why no flags? Trust system. You flagged it. Emailed ombudsman. If invalid, all her acts void, fines, votes, everything. State seized HOA finances. Appointed trustee Carla Voss, a tough lawyer known for gutting corrupt boards. She phoned. Your docs? Gold. Most fold. You fought. Didn't plan this deep. You exposed the rot. Trials fast-tracked, evidence avalanche. Meanwhile, unraveling. Reserves drained. Landscaping overbilled. Work undone. Irrigation rusting. Premiums lapsed. Vic found a $250 fine for pipe alterations, untouched in years. Committee audited citations, hundreds bogus. Mrs. Lopez tracked ex-residents forced out by escalating nonsense, like a family fined for exotic tomato plants, threatened with liens, sold cheap. Brenda recommended buyers, investors flipping for profit, kickbacks her cut. Compiled data, 15 homes flipped under duress. Pattern screamed racket. Brought to Voss, predatory. Beyond fraud, DA opened coercion case. Investors squirmed, facing penalties. Neighborhood ignited. Meetings packed. Volunteers spruced parks. Old rubber stamp gone for transparency. One dusk. Jamal and I eyed the shed, now organized. Logged. This dump sparked it all, he said. Nah. Unchecked power did. He grinned. We're checking now. Weekend potluck. No HOA stamp. Just neighbors. Kids. Motown tunes. Mrs. Lopez chatted newcomers. Vic fixed bikes. Jamal man sign-ups with irony, a clipboard. Damage lingered, but healing bloomed. And me, tools back. Mostly. That ratchet, sweetest twist of all. The courtroom hummed with tension, packed not with press but Pine Ridge folk. Some glaring, others leaning in like jurors in their own trial. I sat up front beside ADA Lena Torres, a laser-focused prosecutor who skipped small talk. Brenda opposite, shrunken in a ill-fitting pantsuit, doodling nervously. Her lawyer whispered urgencies she ignored. Judge Harlan, stern as granite, banged the gavel. Bench trial. Brenda waved jury, betting on low drama. Wrong bet. Torres's opener, clinical scalpel, slicing from my garage breach to theft web. Fake firms, coerced sales. My testimony, items missing 3 months pre-cams. Permission for entry? Torres asked. None. Identify intruder? Brenda Hargrove. Confrontation. She claimed inspection. Held my grinder. Brenda's lawyer cross-examined. Vendetta? Mr. Caldwell? None. Just wanted tools back. Donated items? Receipts say no. Engraved initials. Edited footage? Cloud stamped. Police verified. Torres nodded. Jamal testified thefts. Vic, Fines. A contractor confessed cash rentals from HOA Ops Director, Mrs. Lopez on unreported losses. Rita on forgeries. Defense floundered. 2 exporters claimed ignorance. 1 cracked under Torres. That email? You approved phantom vendor. Recess. Next day. Guilty burglary. Fraud. Embezzlement. Coercion. Judge. Sustained betrayal under oversight guise. Exploited trust for gain. Brenda stared blank. Sentencing pending. Restitution ordered. Assets frozen. Home liened. Post-verdict. Quiet exodus. Jamal. Deeper than imagined. Mrs. Lopez. Plan to stop. Nah. Thought untouchable. She smiled. Wrong. Back home. Changes palpable. Advisory board. No secrets. Shed now toolshare hub. Vic taught wiring. Jamal roofed. Mrs. Lopez expanded gardens. Me? Relaxed. Tools labeled. No hidden keys. Assumed clipboard meant care? Lesson learned. Week later. 7 years prison. No parole 4-minute. $42,000 restitution via fund. Investors fined. Barred buys. New bylaws terms. Transparency. Disclosures. Neighborhood thawed. Waves. Play. Projects sans fear. One afternoon. Garage open. Fixing mower. Mrs. Lopez dropped by with lemonade. Quiet now. Beats tyranny. She eyed organized pegs. Board run. Nah. Did my bit. Lucky you did. Sunset. Hammers echoed. Imperfect. But ours. Locks changed. Cams on. People vigilant. Garage. Once crime scene. Now haven. But here's the question. In a world where community leaders like Brenda hide behind rules to rob you blind, is the real villain the tyrant, or the neighbors who stay silent until it's too late?